I'm Raj Kumar, President and Editor-in-Chief of Devex. We're here at Devex World, very exciting day. And I'm with Ruth Rawling, who's the Vice President of Corporate Affairs at Cargill, one of our innovation partners. You were just on the main stage recently, and we wanted to grab you for a few minutes just to hear a little bit more about what Cargill is doing in this broad ecosystem that is the global development community. Where do you guys fit in? Give us a sense of some of the messages that you shared on stage today.
At Cargill, our goal is to be the global leader in nourishing people. So we fit right into the development community, and particularly around the goal of ending hunger. We work with 150,000 employees around the world. That means we have a lot of insight into what it takes to put food on the table in 70 different countries every single day. And that insight is about the linkage between farmers on the one hand and the consumers and food manufacturers on the other hand.
I think a lot of people who aren't as familiar with Cargill might be surprised to know that you train thousands and thousands of farmers, including small-scale farmers. Yeah. Give us a sense of how that fits into your business model. You know, where do you look at that issue from what perspective?
So we need farmers to be more productive. That's good for farmers because it gives them access to new markets, but it's also good for our business, and it's good for world food security as well. And the other reason we train farmers is we need to encourage the next generation of farmers to find an interesting opportunity to live their lives on the farm. And that means we have to increase farm incomes, because as the GDP in a country rises, farmers will not stay on the land unless their income rises too.
They're going to want to go to the city, and
they're going to want to go to the city.
Urbanization.
So if we're going to be able to feed the world, we're going to need farmers to be able to make a good living on the land. And that's one of the reasons we really put an emphasis on farmer training. And I should also say, we've just made an announcement today that we've just donated $13 million to our various programs around the world, which are at this intersection of food security, sustainability and nutrition. And a large part of that is training farmers too. So we work with partners like the Nature Conservancy, we work with partners like CARE, we work with partners like Heifer International. We've got some interesting new programs there training women farmers in poultry production in China. So that's an example of the kinds of things we're encouraging, because we know we need to encourage more food production in the world.
Yeah, we're delighted you made that announcement here at Devex World, and on stage with Mark Tursek, who's the CEO of the Nature Conservancy, you had a great back and forth, basically saying that not everybody in the environmental movement or in the development community might have considered Cargill to be inside this tent with the rest of us. Big agribusiness, massive corporation, but really there's a key role to play, and he used the example of soy and the Amazon. Can you tell us a little bit more about that as an example of where a company like yours can play such a dramatic role?
So I think it's a great example. We've worked with the Nature Conservancy since 2004. We were trying to figure out, how do you deal with the issue of deforestation in the Amazon, which at that time was fairly rampant. But how do you also encourage the farmers to keep farming? So we were looking for a win-win. We worked with the Nature Conservancy, we worked then with other industry partners and with other NGOs to create a thing called the Soya Moratorium. That's been in place now in Brazil for 10 years. And what it means is we will not buy soy from newly deforested land. And by doing that, and by putting all the training programs and other things, the satellite monitoring around it, we've been able to reduce deforestation in Brazil by 80%. And at the same time, we've seen a large increase in soya production. So we have achieved what we looked for, that win-win situation.
So the lands that were under production, you increase productivity there, make it less needed to go and deforest new areas.
And we also had to partner with the government as well. We needed the government to improve its laws, which it did by introducing a new forest code, and then put in place the system for enforcing those laws, which was a way of using some of the technology we developed with TNC, satellite technology, to monitor deforestation, which then allows enforcement to happen. So you're right, encouraging productivity on the farm, getting the farmers to do more with the land they have, and preserving the forest for future generations.